The holy nation calls him a god, so I stole him. This is Kenshi. 50 days as an escaped slaves with one goal. In the reign of Lord Phoenix. Two slaves begin this story. Here we have Jaglonger. Jaglonger was once a holy nation soldier. He believed their sermons until they took his dark-haired sister and branded him a heretic for defending her. Broken in public, sent to rebirth, told pain would fix his faith. It didn't. It taught him patience and rage. Here we have Gutterfly. Gutterfly grew up in the gutters of bad teeth, stealing food to live, enslaved for it. Renamed filth, taught to be small. So he became invisible, listening, learning, and waiting. One learned endurance through pain, the other learned patience through silence. They didn't escape to be free. They escaped to come back. Jaglonger trained toughness the only way rebirth allows. By getting beaten down and standing back up, of course. Every fall taught him something. How long he could stay down, and how much pain still meant he was alive. Oh, whoa, wait. Oh, hey. What is even going on? What's going on? What? Right. Butterfly didn't train with his fist. He trained by paying attention. Which scars lingered, which ones rushed, which keys were checked out of habit instead of fear. He stayed quiet, looked weak, learned how to disappear in a place designed to erase people. Rebirth rewards strength with pain, but it punishes awareness even harder if it notices. Butterfly made sure it didn't. By day 10, Rebirth had stopped feeling so chaotic, and that was the dangerous part. By this time, Jaglonger's body had already learned the consistent and brutal pain of rebirth. He knew how much he could and couldn't take. Huh? Pause. Resume. Butterfly watched all the patterns. Guard routes, how to pick those shackle locks fast and silent, which areas were darkest and vice versa. Things of that nature. Jaglonger and Butterfly rarely spoke and was very patient with the plan. They don't want to mess anything up. They had one rule: only speak when necessary. By day 11, we knew escaping was near. We already knew they were finna be gone soon. It's Butterfly and Jaglonger, of course. Butterfly had stolen food a few nights in a row, giving it to Jaglonger during the day to prepare for the escape. On day 12, Butterfly slipped a note into Jaglonger's shirt. A time and a place. Little did they know, they would be right next to each other that night, so the note was unnecessary. That night, Rebirth lost 2 slaves. Boom. We gonna see how this goes. Oh. Yeah, we gone. 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 Yeah. Yeah. We made it out safe and sound, but we will be back. Day 13 starts a few hours after the escape. And honestly, we were not in good shape. No food, no armor, just two former slaves running on adrenaline. So, Gutterfly did what Gutterfly does best. He snuck into a Holy Nation farm nearby and started borrowing supplies. A couple of farmers got knocked out, but we did what we had to do, nothing personal. And we took whatever basic gear we could carry. Food and weapons, nothing crazy, but it was enough to survive. He went back up with Jaglonger and gave him what he could, so that he could go for seconds. For the first time since rebirth, we actually had options. From there, we went straight to the hub. Well, actually, we stopped at a bar near the hub to sell some things. And we saw a Holy Nation guard getting jumped, so we decided to beat him up too. And rob him for his shoes, of course. Okay, now we're actually at the hub. We sold the Holy Nation guard stuff, including his shoes, unfortunately. And we bought Gutterfly a toothpick crossbow so that he could get going. From day 13 to day 15, life became pretty simple. Mine iron, fight starving bandits, patch wounds, repeat. We set up near the hub, mining iron during the day and dealing with bandits who thought two exhausted ex-slaves would look like easy money. They were wrong, of course, but barely. Most fights ended with someone bleeding out in the dirt, but we made it out alive, so that counts for something. On day 15, we scraped together enough cash to make a move, so we packed up and headed to Squin. Compared to Holy Nation land, Shek territory felt different. More of a fight or get out the way different. Anyways, we bought ourselves better armor. Still not the greatest, but a huge upgrade from Rags. For the next few days, Squin became our temporary home. We mined iron outside the city, sold it, and kept getting dragged into fights with bandits. Every fight hurt, but also it made us a little tougher. Our stats started to look way better, which is amazing. But we still weren't strong enough to take our revenge on the Phoenix. So, not yet. But for the first time, survival didn't feel like pure luck. By day 19, we got tired of mining and headed to Shark. Bought some hashish and planned to go to Flash Lagoon to sell it. We made it to Flash Lagoon and sold everything. Suddenly we had real money. Jaglonger and Gutterfly decided to upgrade their gear again. We want to make sure we have good enough gear to free slaves to join us. Now, let's do that a few more times. After we got our cats right, we decided to head to Canton to upgrade our weapons. At this point, we decided we wanted to take some action. So, Jaglonger snuck into Stack to scout and figure out where the slaves were being kept. The problem is, though, there weren't any. After wandering around suspiciously for way too long, Jaglonger decided the plan needed a quick adjustment. Instead of freeing the slaves, he spotted the High Inquisitor, Seta, and thought, yeah, my boy Gutterfly can handle him. Yeah, for sure. And so he relaxed in the temple for a bit, just to watch for a little bit longer. But little did he know, and we, Gutterfly was getting beat up outside before night even hit. Oh. So we left. No slaves freed, no Inquisitor kidnapped, just a new plan forming, in a bruised Gutterfly. We went back to Rebirth and immediately failed to free anyone again. The next night though, we finally got one out. The original plan was to head to the hub together, but halfway through we changed our minds. So Butterfly turned back to Rebirth to free more slaves while Jaglonger escorted our new recruit safely to the hub. And somehow it worked. One slave became 2, then 3, then 4. Once everyone was out, we regrouped at the hub and actually rested for once. After that, Butterfly and Jaglonger hit a holy mine and freed 4 more slaves before heading back again. By the time we returned, we weren't just survivors anymore. We were building a squad. We spent a few days training up the squad, then took everyone to the Armor King to finally get proper gear. After that, we headed back to Shark to set up another hashish run. Turns out though, we didn't have enough money because we just got some armor, so of course we wouldn't have enough, but that was my fault. I wasn't thinking properly. It was late. So we really didn't feel like making multiple trips. So instead we stole from the shops and start. Sold the items to the other shops and used that money to buy all the hashish in one go. I almost sold, but it worked out. After that, we headed into the Black Desert to get a replacement arm and new weapons. Once that was done, we trained for a few more days to get everyone ready. At some point during all this, Butterfly somehow lost his bow. I have no idea how, but yeah. So he had to go get another one before rejoining the group. On day 44, we mostly rested and mined, getting ready to finally put our plan into motion. Our plan starts here. Before going after our real target, we decided to weaken the Holy Nation first. 3 mines were hit, one after another, each one falling into our hand. The last mine became our temporary resting point, calm before what came next. From there, we moved on to the Holy Nation farm. We took it pretty easily and looted what we could, then headed towards Blister Hill to scout ahead of the kidnapping attempt. That's when everything went wrong. A Holy Nation patrol caught us before we can disengage. We fought as long as we could, but the damage stacked up fast. One by one, we were pushed to our limits. Seeing how bad things were getting, Jaglonger made the call. He told Butterfly to leave, to disappear, and to finish the plan no matter what happened to the rest of us. Butterfly hid and waited until the fighting had stopped. When it was finally clear, he came back and found Jaglonger barely alive, not knowing if he survived. Butterfly left him in a sleeping bag in a safe spot. He couldn't risk saving anyone else. Most of them were already gone. Butterfly slipped into Blister Hill alone. No fighting, no heroics, just patience. Guards were avoided. Butterfly slipped through quietly. Phoenix was taken the same way the Holy Nation had taken so many others. Restrained, powerless. The plan was simple. No execution, no quick end. Phoenix was headed to the Foglands to be eaten alive. Except the Fogman didn't cooperate. For reasons I still don't know. I don't know. They just didn't eat him. So Butterfly adjusted the plan and dragged Phoenix somewhere else to finish the job properly. And then something unexpected happened. As Butterfly was leaving the Foglands, he crossed paths with someone heading in. It was Jaglonger. He was alive. Barely holding it together, but alive. He remembered exactly what Butterfly planned to do with Phoenix. Now, the 2 former slaves were reunited, not with speeches or celebration, but with purpose. Phoenix then died quickly. He was beaten down, stripped of his divinity, and reduced to what he has always been, just another man. Again, they didn't kill him themselves. They sold him to the Shek Kingdom. We may have forgotten some things, lost some people, and a lot did go wrong. But Kenshi isn't about perfect plans. It's about surviving long enough for your choices to matter. Jaglonger and Butterfly started as slaves with nothing. And 50 days later, they decided the fate of the Holy Nation's God. Not with an army, just patience, stubbornness, and refusing to stay broken. And in Kenshi, sometimes that's just enough. I hope y'all enjoyed this video. This is my first time making something like this, so if it's a little unpolished, I apologize, but Thank you, and hope you come back to see any more I make. I would also like some suggestions of what to do next. If you have any, just any ideas, I would very much appreciate it. So thank you and have a blessed day. Peace.